So tell me the story on Hitchhiker. That's the centerpiece of, to me, the album.
Yeah, well,
So tell me.
he had written Hitchhiker, I guess, in the '60s, and there was a version of it, but he never felt it was complete.
Let me just maybe you know the story, maybe you don't know the story, but what I read was he wrote it in the mid 70s and actually played it for Bob Dylan.
Well,
Bob Dylan came over one day and played it, and Bob Dylan's comment on it was, "That's very honest." That's very honest. And Neil didn't know what to do with it and
right.
just kind of
Yeah.
shelved it from there
Yeah.
and pick us up
Yeah.
30 years later.
Yeah. So it poked his head out again for this record, and so Neil would go away to Hawaii, and you know Dan would call him up and said, "You got any new songs?" And he'd say, "No, I'm sitting here over the rabbit hole, and nothing's coming out." And so it got to the point where like after he'd go to Hawaii, and then we get a call and saying, I've written this one song, and I'm sure it was Hitchhiker, and he had finished it there anyways. He finally finished the last verse or whatever it was. And so then when he came back in, then I think that's when he performed it, and we had the film guy, the director, Adam Volek, his name was, and so he's a Canadian guy, and he came down. So it was like we're all Canadians in this room doing this record. So we had projectors that we were projecting the sky and all the clouds kind of going by, and so we're doing the projections as we were recording
Mm.
him. And we got the front doors of Bella Vista open, and everybody in Silver Lake heard that record go down. Oh, I had it so bloody loud, and so
Real quick, go back on Hitchhiker. So you had shared a story with me. I hope you could
yeah.
share it again. So when he was in Hawaii, he got some inspiration, and they brought
Yeah,
that inspiration back.
yeah. So he had said that he had finished the song, and he had this joint that he had smoked in Hawaii, and he thought, well, I wrote it on this joint. I want to record it on this joint. So he put the joint out, and he carried the joint all the way back for him. And so when we're about to record, he sparked it back up so he could be high on the other side of
With
it
the joint that has the
with the joint.
inspiration.
Yeah, yeah. So it was an interesting thing. But he had gone through he had a brain aneurysm kind just before this record, and the doctors said, "Don't smoke weed, like don't even do it." And so, after the sessions, I would usually just take a little hit, and I think it may have got him started again. I'm not sure. Uh, uh,
You're to blame.
I could be to blame, but yeah. So when he came in, um, he we recorded it after he smoked it. We listened back, and it was pretty incredible. And I had a lot of dub work on that track also.
It's a great song. And for anyone who's not familiar with it, definitely find it. It's not streaming, but you could find it somewhere. And it's a drug song. It's all about Neil's history with
He says
the
the word
various drugs.
hash.
Hash. I think it's hash and opiate. I think he talks about everything he
Yeah,
does
yeah.
in that. It's his autobiography, from what I understood of
Okay.
his drug journeys.
Hmm.
And so what he wrote new was the last verse
I
was
think
about his
so. Yeah.
family.
Yeah.